Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yashabrakathum. Yahweh Shemal Thum Bashem Yashai. I'm priest and officer of 5,000 Kuraya Allah out of ISUPK, Connecticut. Out of ISUPK, we started out on one from 1 West 125th Street from 1969 to now under Commanding General Yohana. We've been teaching this truth, and we will continue to teach this truth moving forward on the internet, out in the streets, you name it. While we at the laundromat, the supermarket, shopping, this truth is going to be taught because that's the job of the Lord's, the priests and prophets of the Lord's chosen ones, the Lord's priests and prophets. ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana from since 1969 to now have been bringing the truth to you. And today we're gonna get into black and brown coming back to the Most High. We're gonna talk about how the Lord delights in when we come back to Him. Understand that there's no other groups out there, no other belief system, no other religions that bring the Lord's chosen people together, like ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana. We are here for our people, all the way from the so-called Negroes down to the so-called Mexicans, which would be the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Issachar, excuse me. Today we're going to go into black and brown coming back to the Most High. Similar to, well, it's the same parable as the prodigal son. I'm gonna go into that a little later, but we just gonna touch on how we as a people have to, in order to see results, in order to see or to have the Most High really show His strength and to help deliver us like He delivered us out of Egypt, like how He always look out for us and protect us. In order for the Most High to come back, we have to come back to the Lord. Understand, when you come into this truth, the Most High delights in that. The Most High delights in when it's no difference than the parable of the prodigal son. You know, it's like any father out there that kids do right, that get corrected, that see the error in their ways and they come back. You know, that's just a brief summary on the story, but I'm going to go into the story in Luke in a little bit. But understand that ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, there's no separation amongst tribes. It's no separation amongst the northern tribes and the southern tribes. Commanding General ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana unites black and brown because we are all under that same. We're of the same nationality. We're all Israelites. We're from the 12 tribes of Israel. We're the Lord's chosen people. Understand that our oppressor, in order to keep us controlled, he has to keep us divided. He has to mentally turn us against each other. And he's been doing that for hundreds of years now. But what we have to do as a people is come back together. Now, understand, I'm going to Zephaniah 2 and 1 right now because the Most High, like, when you look at these scriptures, this is our way of life. That's our records, it's our history, it's every possible thing you could think of. It's ours, the 12 tribes, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. This Bible is not for everybody. It's not everybody's records. So this is something that we have to really internalize as a people because the way our oppressor have it with a lot of our people, which causes them to develop this Stockholm syndrome, is beating it in a lot of, Christianity, for instance, which pushes and promotes everybody coming together and God is for everybody. But what Christianity don't preach or teach to the people that they call themselves preaching and teaching to is that if God loved everybody and God is for everybody, then why is blacks and Hispanics in the same condition that we're in today? Why is that? If God loves everybody and God is for everybody, then why are we being punished? And the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese man, the so-called African, the so-called East Indian, Arabic, you name it. How come they're not being punished as well? Why are blacks and Hispanics dying at a numerous rate on social media, on TV? Why are we dying at the hands of our oppressors aimlessly? And nobody is taking a stance that calls themselves humane or say that they're a humanitarian when you see our people dying every other day. You're seeing some cop, some one of our oppressors killing one of our people, older and younger. Where's the big uproar for that? You don't see none of that. Why is that? Because we are a people that is hated by other nations. We are a people that is disliked because of who we are, because of our bloodline, because of who the Most High have told who we are. Understand that our oppressors, I'm talking about the so-called white man, so-called Chinese, African, Arabic, you name it, East Indian, so forth. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. You go to a brother or sister and say we're Hebrew, we're Israelites, we're Jews. They're gonna look at us like we got four heads on our shoulders, man. They're gonna look at us like we crazy, like we retarded. But we turn around and say, "Oh, we Muslims and we Christians and everything else." They'll accept that. They'll embrace that. Even turn around and say we're Buddhists or something else. We would accept that more than what we really are, and understand that that was our oppressor's job to pull us away from the Lord, so the Lord could be more vexed and do away with us as a people. But understand that when you come into ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. When you come and you rid yourself of this world, understand that you are the Lord delights in that. The Lord delights in that because He knows what we've been through. He knows what He had put us through. And the fact that we coming back to Him, like any other father with a child that comes back and comes back wholeheartedly, any father be happy if their kid was was lost and went out into the world, was strung out on drugs or something, or came back and was living a real sinful life, and then come back and realize that life that they was living was not the right way. Any parent would delight in that. But understand that again, our oppressor don't care about us. Our oppressor do not give a rat's ass about any black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Why? Because when you look at Zephaniah 2 and 1, you know, it tells you because as a people, we have to start coming together. And this scripture it clearly tells you what we have to do and why we have to do it. It says, Zephaniah 2 and 1, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desired, excuse me. We are, we have to come together. And we have to come together. The time is now because we do not, time is limited. Time is limited because as you can see how this world is going now and how our oppressor economy and how our oppressors like it don't even feel the same from a couple years ago because the Most High is shaking it up. Is bringing down this kingdom. What do you think? These tornadoes, these brush fires, these earthquakes, these pestilence, these diseases, you know, that's out here. You think it's by accident? Nah, I know we smarter than that. That's the Lord coming down on this wicked ass kingdom. That's the Lord saying, okay, I'm gonna start turning it up a little. He's turning the notches. It's about to get turned up and lit. You see the Ukraine and Russia. Understand the Most High, he getting this party started, you know? And he tells you to don't be troubled because this all these is coming to pass. The Third World War, you know? All this is coming to pass because of what they've done to us. All this is coming to pass. But understand that we have to come together. We have to come together and gather ourselves together. That means stop killing each other. Stop holding grudges. Stop having hate towards your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters. And I'm talking about the 12 tribes. I'm talking about Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Stop feeling ill will, excuse me, towards each other. Forgive each other. You know, understand that the Lord wants us to do that. Don't sweat the small stuff. Stuff can be worked out, but we have to gather ourselves together, start building back communities, start coming together and being that brotherly and sisterly area, bringing back the communities and being brotherly and sisterly to one another, because we can't stay separated anymore. This is not about individualism. It's about collectively coming together and being there for one another, helping your neighbor out, like taking it back to like the 70s and so forth, when we was poor, and if your next door neighbor needed butter or sugar, you could knock on the door and borrow some. We got to get back to sharing and to look out for one another, because at the end of the day, I always say this in all my classes: we all we got. Nobody else out here. No other nation care about us. How you know? You look at you go into every hood ghetto USA, and you go into them, every corner got a Chinese restaurant, got a halal truck or something out there. You got some African something out there. You got a pizza restaurant, Italian restaurant, left and right. You name it, is in our areas, right? But how much of that money that we give them do they put back into the hood, the same hood that their business is in? Nothing. Nothing is being funneled back. It's taken out of our community and sending little Johnny to college, getting him started, having him go on a big honeymoon with his whore wife that probably slept with Derek Jamal, and every brother in the hood, because we all know how them Karens love them some black men, you know. I ain't gonna get into all that, but understand that we have to come back together, gather ourselves together, because we are a nation that is not desired. We are a nation that is hated. We are a nation that when any other nationality we walk by, they look at us with disgust, because they spirit know. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, when you get into these classes, you're going to know who you are. You're going to know who you are, and you're going to sit there and you're going to pass it on, just like Commanding General Yohana, just like the heads before him, and it was passed down, tradition. It gets passed down, passed down, passed down, because that's how we build community. That's how we build this nation, because we have to build up and gather ourselves together, like back in Black Wall Street days, back in Seneca Village, back in Rosewood, and so forth. We need to start getting back our communities, because I don't know if any of y'all noticed, but every ghetto USA, they try to gentrify. They want to come live where we live. Why is that? Because for one, we live in prime areas. The hoods where we live is prime areas, and they want to take it from us, build it up, and create this utopia. They want to push us all the way in one corner. They want to come into our hoods and regulate how we live. And I'm gonna sidebar for a second. Prime example, if you go into like you go to Harlem and you sit there and you know, back in the days, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you was able to sit outside your house and play your music. You could put the speaker outside right by the door, the window, and play your music. Nobody was saying anything, right? But when now that it's gentrified, you put that outside, you're gonna have these Edomites that move from the suburbs complaining like they in the suburbs. And then police get involved. Then it's all this, is that. They make a whole big stink. And it's like, you coming into our hoods. You coming into where we live. We're not going where you live. You coming where we live. And we got to conform to how you live. You want to live like you living in a library? If anybody had any ounce of knowledge on how blacks, Latino, and Native Indians live and how we deal with on a daily basis, we listen to music, we talk, we have fun, we communicate, we're loud. That's something they'll never get used to. Just like we will never get used to being bloodthirsty or having it in our spirit that we have to shed blood, like Esau, like the so called white man, like them devil dogs. They love blood. What? They want to kill everything. A bird going by their plants, they ready to kill it. Anything and everything. You see, they trying to kill everything that breeds. Excuse me. That's not our characteristics. We a plain common man. We go do what we gotta do, come home and deal with the family. We plain men, and women. And when I say plain, meaning we're easygoing in a sense where we listen to music, we have a good time, we do what we got to do, and that's it. Our oppressor do though, they got to go out. If they don't kill something and shed blood, they're having a bad day. We're not like that. We do what we have to do, have fun. We love eating and we love women. And the women love their husbands. And we coexist and we're happy. You know what I mean? I I mean to say husbands, but love their husband. Salaki. And the men love their wives. Just a correction so people don't think we one of them other groups out there that promote sinful acts. You know? Okay, I want to shout out. Okay, we got Labar Banyanyam in the chat and Yapa Shayara, Yahawada, Shalom, Yahweh Shema Thumb, Mashem Yahshai. What's going on, Aquatiums? Yeah, so the thing is, we I'm going to the story of the prodigal son in Luke the 15th chapter. And I'm gonna read the start from the top. Then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners for to hear him. Verse 2, and the Pharisees and scribes murmured, saying, the man receiveth sinners and eat it with them. And he spake this parable unto them, saying, excuse me, what man of you having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, do it not leave the 90 and 9 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he find it. Now, this is Yahushua Mashiach, what y'all call Christ. He's in red. This was the Pharisees talking to Yahushua Mashiach, right? And when he had found it, he laid it on his shoulders, rejoicing. This is Yahushua talking now. And when he did come home, he called it together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep, which was lost. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Salakia. And when he found it, he laid it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he cometh home, he called it together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep, which was lost. Verse 7, I say unto you, that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repented, more than over 90 and 9 just persons, which need no repentance. Either what woman having 10 pieces of silver, if she loses one piece, doeth not light a candle and sweep the house and seek diligently till she find it? And when she had found it, she calleth her friends and her neighbors together, saying, rejoice with me, for I have found the piece which I had lost. Likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of the Most High, of the powers, over one sinner that repented. And he said, a certain man had two sons. Now, this is going into the prodigal son, right? Which is the same concept of losing that one and finding it. And the youngest, okay, verse 11. And he said, a certain man had two sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living, which is his fortune, He divided it. And not many days after, the youngest son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. Now we're going to look up the word riotous, right? Let's see what that means, riotous. Okay. Okay. What does it say in the Webster Dictionary? No, that's not. No. Turbulent, participant up, abundant. Okay, abundant, exuberant, abundant. So he was living that. He was living that. He was living like a baller. He was spending, splurging, right? Verse 14. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. So now he went from balling. He went from balling out of control to, oh, shoot, I'm broke. I'm down to nothing. Okay, verse 15. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. Verse 16, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perished with it. I perished with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. The son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring hither the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this son was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. So understand, when Yahushua explains that he said that his son was dead, meaning he, when you are walking in sin, you are dead. You're considered like the valley of the dry bones. You're walking, you're walking dead, so to say. You don't have the truth in you. You have no righteousness in you. You have evil. You're dark. You're sinful, so to say. You're living, you're in the world, so to say. You're not following these laws, statutes, and commandments that was given to you. So then when he says, and he's alive again, meaning he realized that what he did was wrong, and now he's ready to repent and to do the right and to not follow the customs of the heathen customs, right? Okay, verse 25. Now his elder son was in the field, and as he came and drew nigh to the house, he heard music and dancing. Verse 26. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said unto him, thy brother is come, and thy father has killed the fatted calf, because he has received him safe and sound. And he was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. And he answered, said to his father, lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed, and at any time thy commandments, and yet thou never gavest me a kid. And a kid is also considered a calf, a young calf as well. That I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as thy son was come, which had devoured thy living with harlots, thou hast killed for him the fatted calf. And he said unto him, son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Verse 32. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this thy brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. So understand that that parable was talking about Israel, the northern tribes coming back to the Most High, putting away that, doing the peace, smoking the peace pipes and worshiping idols and going off. And that's basically talking about the two kingdoms coming back together, the northern tribe and southern tribe, the parable of the prodigal son. But understand that it just goes to show you that even though we out here and we're sinning, and I'm talking about Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, we're out here sinning. Understand that you can't come back. The Lord is a forgiving power. The Lord, He is a righteous power. He also is a merciful power. Understand that we've all sinned. We have all sinned. The men in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, we all was out there. We all was dead. Walking around, walking dead. Clueless. But every time, every brother, every sister came into ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, the Most High rejoiced. The angels rejoiced because we came back like the prodigal son. So understand that when we talk about Black, and you hear us a lot of times saying Black, we also mean Hispanic and Native Indians as well. We're not just talking about the so-called Negroes or anybody that's Black. We're talking about the Latino tribes as well, Black and brown. Because when you come into this truth, you are definitely found. When you come into ISUPK, understand this is a brotherhood. This is a brotherhood and a sisterhood that you can't even imagine. You won't get that out in the world. You get a certain level of brotherhood in the world, but there's snakes in there. Is evil. Is evil within there. Y'all either doing something evil or y'all having evil thoughts against each other. Because that's just how it is. If you're not dealing with the Most High, you're not dealing with any righteousness. And we have to understand that. And we have to realize that without this truth, we would be just like that prodigal son out there that spent all his money on them harlots, tricking his money away, taking his money and committing sins with it. Understand that we have a chance as a people to come back because the Lord, understand this. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, understand that the Most High, He loves His children. Contrary to what you might think, the Most High loves us. The Most High don't like this, our oppressor. He can't stand them. But as a punishment for us, He put those red bastards over us. So understand, read, okay, Romans 9 and 13. It tells you, as it is written, Jacob, that's the 12 tribes, Jacob, have I loved, but Esau, which is our oppressor, the so called white man, those devil dogs, have I hated. So understand, I'm gonna read it again. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. The Most High don't give a damn about our oppressor, the so-called white man. It may look like he do because a lot of our people are being killed. But when you sit back and look at it, a lot of our people are being killed because a lot of our people are still, excuse me, following heathen customs. A lot of our people are still partaking in this world and this negativity that this world have to offer. When you're sitting here and you're celebrating Christmas, when you celebrating Thanksgiving, that's the worst. All of them is bad, but Thanksgiving is the worst. That's a smack in the face to our ancestors, to our brothers, our sisters. That's the slaughter of the North American Taino Indians that was here in America, the 700 million of them, men, women, children, old and young, was slaughtered by these by our oppressor, by these red bastards. Yet we celebrated our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking about the 12 tribes will celebrate Thanksgiving like it's nothing. They'll celebrate like, oh, it's a time for family. Our people are so quick to, you know, mask it, celebrating it with, oh, it's for family. Oh, it's for the kids. No, it's not. Don't lie. Don't lie to yourself. You want to celebrate it because you want to celebrate it because that's your time to hang out, smoke weed, get drunk, you know, watch football or basketball, and just do whatever. Because if you was really about family, understand that. And I'm gonna sidebar for a second, Salakia. If you was about family, then you would honor your ancestors. You will honor the fact that our ancestors were slaughtered at the hands of our oppressor. So if you really want to sit there and use our oppressors' holidays as a scapegoat to say, "Oh, it's for family," is it really for family, or are you got that goddamn selfish that you just worried about you and you doing it for your kids? Because you're not supposed to do that for your kids. Because you're supposed to be teaching examples to your kids. Your kids don't run you. They don't raise you. You're supposed to be raising your kids. And that's the problem with our people. Our precedent got it where our kids are raising the adults. We have to cater to them. No, all we have to do is raise them, give them the bare necessities, and that's it. Put clothes on their back, food on the table, and a roof over their head, and maintain them and show them right from wrong according to the scriptures. Show them how to deal with each other when there's issues, when there's where there's differences. You know, you show them what to celebrate, what not to celebrate. Show them how to live, how to treat each other, how to respect one another. Because Lord knows you're not getting that. You're not getting that in these other groups out here. You're not getting it. You're not getting that in any of these religions out here at all. So that's basically that's basically where we have to start really getting together and uniting, because again, we all we got. We don't have, you can't go, into these, you can't go into these bodegas in our hoods. You can't go into these Chinese restaurants and so forth, or these other places and be a quarter short. You can't even be a dime. Hell, you can't even be a penny short. They want that penny. They make sure they get their money from you. Yet, we as a people take the abuse that they give us, because if we're short, they're going to curse us out. They're going to sit there and disrespect us in our own neighborhoods. Yet, we still support them. We'll still go into the store and support them. What we got to do is not support any of them. Try and find your local mommy and poppy store. Support the black, brown, soul food restaurants. Nail salon, hair salons where it's sisters, whether it's northern tribe, southern tribe, black or Latino, are doing it, and support it. Support black and brown businesses. Support black and brown, period. Unite, because again, we all we got. You see the mistreatment of our people. You see what the government have done when they threw all of our Mexican brothers and sisters in cages, like they're animals, right? You saw what they did to our Haitian brothers. Uh, Brought them over here and threw them under a bridge in Mexico. Left them for dead. That's why ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, our brothers down south, went to Acuna, Mexico, and gave them food, clothing, you know, toiletries, stuff that this government that sent billions and millions of dollars to all these other countries couldn't place our Haitian brothers and sisters. Take our Mexican brothers and sisters and throw them in cages like animals. Yet the issue in was it Afghanistan? They came over in planes and whatever, and they put them up in a heartbeat. Thousands and thousands of them. And you're gonna tell me that nobody that's humanitarians out there seem to think that there's nothing wrong with that? You see how they know who they can look out for and who they don't want to look out for. They know who they desire and who they don't desire. Because guess what? The our Haitian brothers and sisters and Mexican brothers and sisters are part of the 12 tribes. Those Afghanistanians are not. They're heathens. They're of another nation. But guess what? They got treated with royalty. You know who didn't get treated with royalty? Our Haitian brothers and sisters and our Mexican brothers and sisters as well. Why is that? Like I read the scriptures, Zephaniah 2 and 1. We are a nation that is not desired. Therefore, I'm paraphrasing the scripture, we have to gather ourselves together. because we are a nation that is not desired. We are a nation that is hated throughout the four corners of the earth. We are a nation that was spread out throughout the four corners of the earth in captivity. Why was that? Because we disobeyed our Father, the Most High. We disobeyed the Most High. And as a result, the Most High put that, he spanked the Salakia, he spanked the dog shit out of us. He took our enemies that we once ruled and put them over us. But you know where our enemies messed up? Especially Esau, especially our oppressor, the so-called white man. He took it to levels he couldn't even imagine. He took it to different levels on mistreating us. He didn't follow the rules. You want to know why? Because he think he's above the Most High. That's why he's going to get tenfold for what he have done to our people, to what he's done to our ancestors, to what he's doing to us now, to this very day. Understand that the Most High sees everything. Every wrong that has been done to us, understand that the Most High is going to deal with that. The Most High just wants us to come back to him. The Most High wants us to follow and to come back and to stop being a whore. Stop being a homosexual. Stop being a lesbian. Stop being a transgender. Stop being a drug dealer, a murderer. Stop sleeping with whores. Stop making our sisters whores. Stop raping, molesting our sons, our daughters. Stop using drugs. Stop misleading our people and teaching them wrong and teaching them to sin against the Most High. Start looking out for one another. Start looking out for our families, our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors. And when I say that, I'm talking about the 12 tribes. I'm not talking about these other nations. These other nations, I don't give a damn about them. In order for us to care about anybody outside our family, we got to take care of our family. Right now, we can't worry about that. We need to worry about our people, the Lord's chosen people. Because we are truly destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Our people are destroyed. As a matter of fact, let me go to the scripture. Hosea 4 and 6. My people, this is the Lord talking. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because we don't know no better. A lot of our people. We're lacking the proper knowledge because a lot of us are in these churches, is in these Muslim mosques, in these, whatever, just not being taught because we're lacking the knowledge of the Most High, the knowledge of these scriptures. Because thou has rejected knowledge, a lot of us reject it. We've been in the streets since 1969 till now. And a lot of our people have heard, have even critiqued us, have even talked mess about us. A lot of people have heard the word and understand our job is to put the word out there. That's it. Our job is done. Once we put it out there and you got it, we're not gonna force feed this down your throat. Understand that when you hear this word, you're now held responsible for it. When you get this word, you're held responsible for it. You can't say when that day come, I never knew, because you're gonna be considered a liar. You can't say you never knew because you was told, you was warned, you was warned about that day, about this day. And when that day come, only the Lord knows what the Lord have mercy on who the Lord have mercy on, you know. But because thou has rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. The Most High gonna reject thee. So when you see that there's killing going on and our oppressors doing that, that's because at some point in time, our people have rejected it, have heard us prophesying, talking, but still refuse to ignore what we're saying, you know? That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. And for these priests out here that know but choose not to for their own selfish, greedy ways, understand that they're not a priest to the Most High. The Most High don't acknowledge them. They're not no man of the cloth or nothing, because they have forgotten the law of the powers. And the Most High said, I will also forget thy children. Most High is going to forget you. The Most High, he will forget you. You turn your back on him, he'll forget you. Because you know what that is? Because I always say this, you know, yo, and I say this about anybody, any of my kids, before you give me your ass, before I give you my ass to kiss, before you give me your ass to kiss. Just like that. I have no problem cutting it on and cutting it off like a light switch. The second I see you give me your ass to kiss, I act like I never knew you. I act like you never exist. That's how the Most High will do it. That's how the Most High is. You reject him, he'll reject you. It's that simple. Because guess what? You're going to need him more than he needs you. So when you sit there and you reject the Most High, that's a disrespect. That's a disrespect. And the Most High don't like that. So he's saying basically in so many words, you forget me, I'll forget you. I'll forget you, and it will hurt you more than it'll hurt him. It wouldn't even hurt him. So as a people, we got to tighten up, because when it comes to especially what's going on today in the world, we gotta we gotta start stop sweating the small stuff. We gotta stop sweating little the little things. We gotta stop sweating that. Because if you're sitting here and you holding on to something that could have been settled or something that needs to be settled and you choose not to, then that's something you need to check with your spirit. You need to check and find out what's going on with you and what you're dealing with at that moment. Because Satan works overtime. Satan will sit there and jump if you allow him to. When Satan comes at you, you got to fight your flesh. You got to fight allowing that demon to rule over your spirit. You got to fight that. Because Satan will try you. Satan will test you. When you fail is when you give in to it. You can't allow that. Understand that ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana, is building a nation. Understand that within building the nation, every brother and sister that comes into this truth, the Most High delights in. The Most High, the angels rejoice. Our King rejoice. Commanding General Yohana rejoice. All the generals, captains, officers, troopers, sisters rejoice. Every time somebody new comes into this truth. Because brick by brick, this nation's being built with or without you. Understand that you have a chance. You're here. When you see us in the streets, you have a chance to make a change in your life. You have a chance to help build this nation up. And understand it's going to get built with or without you. The thing is, don't jump on the gravy train when everything's all set and good. Don't wait till the last second because now you're playing Russian roulette. You want to make sure you're in this body and you're doing this work before our King, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which y'all know is Christ, comes back. Because when he comes back, he's not coming to pass out popcorn, buttered popcorn, and big, large, giant sodas. He's not doing that. He's coming back. It's gonna be a messy sight. You want to at least be doing this work. You want to die a righteous death. You want to die doing this work if you are. You want to be in this body doing this work. Because again, the lost 12 tribes of Israel has been found in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. That's my time, Israel. I'm Priest and Officer Qural Ya'ala out of ISUPK, Connecticut. That's my time. Shalom.